welcome to the virtual groomer. My name is Jack, your host, and today I'm bringing another shaving video. This is a pretty special shave for me. I'm yet to use pretty much all of these products, so these are all going to be new. The one I'm really looking forward to, something that I received today. This, my friends, is the Wolfman WR2. This has the Darwin handle. There's a few reasons I went with the Darwin handle. One, because of weight. This is the lightest handle James makes at Wolfman. Not only that, but I also think this is the most intricately designed in terms of symmetry. There's more angles. That's generally kind of what I like in terms of just general design. It's comfortable to hold. I've held one before. I'm very impressed with how the razor was finished, quite honestly. I didn't expect it to be finished quite as well as it was, which I probably should do because they have, a pretty good reputation for that. The blade loading system for me is interesting. There's no posts in the middle of the razor. Let me show you. So where typically a safety razor has posts to kind of mount the blade and hold the blade in place, the WR2 does not have that present. The WR2, I'll show you the base plate, if I can get it loose. It's actually very tight, and I think, let me get that loose. Come on, WR2, stop being a dick. There we go. So I'll show you this. There we go. So as you can see here, there's no kind of like, you can see how well polished that is. You can see my phone camera. You can see there's no kind of like posts or anything to hold the blade in place, which is very unusual. The way it's actually achieved is, be fucking careful. The way it's actually achieved, I'll show you now. If you look at that, like there's these corner posts on each of the sides, and that is what holds the blade in place. It's just a unique approach. I've not seen it before. Let's see how good the blade clamping is in this. It seems to be pretty good. It seems to torque quite well after the handle's done up. You might be able to hear it. Yeah, so we're gonna be using that. I'll give you my opinions as we shave. The soap I'm going to be using is Barrister and Mann's Soft Heart series. I've used this quite a bit, but I've never put it on the channel for whatever reason, so I'm going to do that today. This is one of, for me, the top bases in the industry right now. The amount of work required, coupled with just the overall performance of the soap, really makes it very, very good. It lathers very quickly, it has incredible density, and overall performance is outstanding, so we're going to be using that. And the brush for today's shave is going to be a good one as well. So this is a handle from Lancaster Razorworks. Andre at Lancaster does some really nice brush designs. This has a really cool fluted design, as you can see. He has one of the best coins as well, in my opinion. The knot, however, is a 28mm Rhodium knots fan knot. This is what I believe he calls his Manchurian. This is the same knot Chris Maiden has in his That Darn Rob handle. Exactly the same. I've used this a few times and I've been very impressed on the overall use of the Rhodium knot. As far as value goes, I think he has some of the best hand-tied knots in the game. It's not too soft, it's not too scritchy. It picks up soap really well, and yeah, just fantastic. So we're gonna use these items today. I'm gonna get a load going here on the brush rather, and we'll get to shaving. I'm looking forward to trying this Wolfman, guys. It's been, I've been on there since December, I think, about that. So I've waited a good 10 months, almost a year on this wait list. The overall finish of the razor, I have to say, is it's not much better than I expected, but it is better than I expected. You can tell the amount of time James puts into actually finishing these well. It's not half-assed. I never expected it to be half-assed, but it's close to perfect, and that's pretty hard to do. So kudos to them, kudos to James. I hope I liked the way the razor shaves just as much as I like the aesthetics, because that would be ideal. You can see this texture here. It's almost like a gooey texture, and that's what I've found I really enjoy about this soap base. We've got a decent load on here. Let's get the glasses off and we'll get to lathering up. Before we do that, however, we need to wet the face, so get that nice and wet. So how are you guys? It's been a few days since I made my last video. I've been enjoying the videos as of late, just making them a bit more sparsely, but still enjoying making them. I hope you guys can see very well. The lighting is quite dull in here, but I don't want to put on the light because it does this weird orangey tint thing that I'm not a big fan of it. See? Yeah, I'm just not a fan. I could put those on though, it might help. Very nice. Awesome. Okay, let's wash the top of this soap. I've pretty much, so this is in the Unscented. There's no scent to this soap. Because of my recent acquisition of a lot of really nice fragrances, I've always been interested in fragrances, like I've said, but more so recently. Because of my recent acquisition of a lot of fragrances, I want to use those fragrances, and it's not easy to use those with soaps with strong scents. So I found that using unscented soaps is the best way to go for me. Unless days I'm not doing anything and I'm not using a fragrance, then I'll use one of my scented soaps. I've gone down from about 90 soaps to 15, so I've sold a lot of soap. The lather is incredibly dry at the moment. We are going to work, put water in it as we always do. I'm going to start using this nerdy squirt bottle again because I think it's more effective in getting water into the knot. So I don't do much lathering unless I see the lather coming together. I just keep adding water. So I am introducing water to this because I'm getting the full splay. But not much is happening yet because the lather needs water. Here we go. I didn't get a Lancaster note on this because I didn't quite know how good they were. I've had a lot of people like his stuff. I don't know how unique his knot is, but I wanted a rhodium knot. This is his first fluted handle, which is cool in itself. I love the color green. So I thought, hey, let's go for it. So this knot, let me talk to you about this rhodium knot a little bit. This rhodium knot has very, very little scrub. There's a little bit, really not much. It's very pillowy, it's very dense, but not so dense that it takes away from the overall lathering experience. I've used knots that in my opinion are too dense. And because they're too dense, they either hog lather or they're so dense coupled with gel that they just don't pick up lather well. And this is not one of them. This does a fantastic job. This is probably in the top 5 knots I've used. Straight up. Or in terms of knots I enjoy, this is definitely one of them. Just the overall use experience is really, really nice. Very soft. Really nice face feel. Very nice. We're getting there with the lather, it's getting more and more hydrated. So all we're going to do now is clean the lines and paint some water in. And then we'll get to using this WR2, sorry. I used the WR1 if you don't remember. I used it in brass and I didn't actually like it very much. I don't think it shaved very well. This has a much better reputation. So the only safety razors I own now are this the home-like start, and the calves. Yeah, wow, look at that lather, beautiful. Okay, let's sprinkle some water to the knot here, and we'll paint some final bits of water in, and then get Shea in. What am I looking for here? I'm looking for the brush to move freely across the face. I don't want to feel like it's stuck in the mud, so to speak. And for me, that's the perfect sign to know that the lather's been made to the best of its ability. And I also like to put all of the flow through back on top of the, you can see how hydrated this soap is. Yeah, what a soap base. For anyone that has this and doesn't want it, I'll buy as many unscented pucks as you have. There we go, I'm happy with that. Cool, okay. Let's wash the hands off, or at least dry the hands, don't want to drop this. I got the really high polish because I don't personally see the point in not doing so. Although I'll reiterate, not the biggest fan of polish because I don't want to damage it. I'm not denying that polish looks beautiful, but yeah, okay. Let's go with the grain here. This is the 1.15 base plate. Very surprised on the face of it, actually. It's incredibly smooth, but there's very little blade fill for me. The teensiest bit, maybe? Yeah, it is very nice. Very nice. Surprisingly comfortable. And I say surprisingly because my experience of the WR1 wasn't particularly comfortable at all. Yeah, wow. Very easy to use. I'm happy. I don't know where I'd put it based on the razors I've tried because I've only shaved with it once. But it's very easy to use, which is what I prefer, as you guys know. Man, this soft part base, guys, it's phenomenal. Really easy to use. It's funny because I've kind of come back to that, you know, the ease of use thing. Something I've noticed more recently as far as soap I own, that as far as kind of like artisans and overall soaps, I own more sterling than anything. Pretty considerably too, I think by twice. And it comes down to having easy scents and very easy soap. You don't see much sterling. You will see more sterling, I guess, because that's a majority of what I have now. Or not majority, that's a complete lie, but I do have quite a lot. Wow. So we're gonna have a good feel around after this second pass. I kind of want to see where this razor gets me, because the C plate on the carve gets me to a point where I could kind of stop, really. I'd also like to feel what it feels like against the grain with this as well. Let's go cross grain. Jeez. What can I say?
No skipping. No juddering.
I can see why people like it so much. It's very smooth. And very efficient. Jeez.
Feels great.
This is kind of like hybrid pass here.
Remember, you still have a sharp razor blade in the razor. Don't go overboard. Yeah, wow. Very nice.
I mean, guys. Wow.
Jeez. Wow.
You're more efficient than the carve, I could tell you that. And if the carve was smoother, it's not far off.
I'm not categorically saying that, but
It's definitely more efficient than that carved C plate I used to use. And the sacrifice between kind of like efficiency and blade fill here is so small that if the carve was smoother, the blade fill on this is just not noticeable. I think this is the ideal plate for me, to be honest. Let's go against the grain here. I want to dry off my hands. I just do not want to drop this thing. So
against the grain on the neck. That's pretty comfortable. Yeah, it is.
It's always more comfortable on this side. Very nice. I'm impressed with how it shaves, I can tell you that much. So I would say it's more comfortable than I expected it to be. I expected it to be one of those like hardcore shaver razors where there's loads of blade fill, and there's not. I'd say the against the grain pass isn't as comfortable as the card for me. I'm already feeling a little bit reluctant to do it. But as far as like just doing it even a little bit, because of the razor's efficiency, it takes it down so easily. You can hear that, it's like a scrape. It just doesn't.
That feeling isn't great to me.
But overall, like the overall performance of the razor, yeah, I mean, I can see why people love it so much. Let's put that down here. Get our loose soap, or at least leftover soap from the knot there, that really good rhodium knot.
Let's get this on the face.
There's no scent to this whatsoever, so Will has done a very good job in terms of making like an unscented soap. It's rarer than you think, like a pure unscented soap being genuinely unscented. Let me wash my face and we'll do the post.
have a feel around after this. Just see how well the razor did. I don't feel any irritation right now, which is always good after I do like an against the grain pass. God, that post shave. that is such a good soap base, guys, honestly. So the way I would kind of like, based on my first use, the way I would differentiate it, in those really tricky spots for me, I still think the carve is more comfortable, but this is definitely more efficient for a similar sort of blade feel. Yeah, and honestly, with the way the post is designed, I'm incredibly impressed with how good that blade clamping is. Yeah, I'm actually pretty blown away by the performance of that. I knew it was going to be good just because of the reputation it has, but I didn't think it would be quite that good, to be honest. I expected to put it to my face and be like, it's not really worth the money, but based on that shave, I'd say that's, for me, worth the money. Zingari Mann, Unscented, as we generally do. Would I pay 700 Canadian for that? No, I don't think there's a point to doing that. Mainly because there are so many razors that shave so well for so little, or at least a lot less. If you have the loose money, would I buy it? Yeah, I would. Because I think it's, based on just that first use, it's one of the nicer razors I've used. Is it one of the best? I don't know. I've not used it enough. But it felt comfortable for me. It felt safe. It was very efficient, given the blade exposure, or at least the face feel of the razor. So with all of those like in mind, it's very, very good. Like, I can't complain. Let me go over the gear I used and I'll let you guys go as I normally do. Barrister Mann Soft Heart series, quickly becoming my favorite soap base. I've used this soap base about 5 or 6 times in the last 2 weeks. Just love it, super easy to use. Unscented, goes very well with any fragrances you might have or fragrances you like. Doesn't interfere with the fragrances, which is ideal for me. Soft Heart series gets a big thumb up. The razor of choice, which I haven't yet cleaned, is the Wolfman WR2. This is using the Darwin handle and the 1.15 SB plate. Very nice. And inside that was like a 15th or 16th use Wizamet. Our brush today was the Lancaster kind of like green and beige brush with these cool flutes, and inside that was a Rhodium Manchurian, which is 28 mil. What a shave. Another one of those fantastic shaves that I walk away from it wondering why everyone doesn't do this, but that happens sometimes. My name is Jack, your host from the Virtual Groom Room. Wherever you are in the world, have a wonderful day, and thank you all so much for the support. Goodbye for now.